ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
So we rep Jersey here all the time. I am a Jersey boy through and through, and I love the art and work that is done here in New Jersey. And Luna Stage, if you don't know about Luna Stage, you need to, because they do put on some beautiful pieces of work. And I saw a familiar face is coming to Luna Stage because years ago, I was cast in this very infamous production of The Music Man, which is legend. Just Google it and you'll see the New York Times and Playbill. And you know, it was a modernized version where Harold Hill gets arrested and we may have a cell phone. Listen, the point of this all was stars were made in that production. Stars and stars and stars. And it was cast by the wonderful Jenn Haltman. And it was one of the stars was Becca Schneider. And they have written, along with my friend Casey, who's gonna come out here, a play called Trich coming to Jersey. We need to put all the we are going to connect all of these dots right now and find all about it. Jenn, Becca, Casey, welcome.
Hi.
What an intro.
Casey, why were you not in The Music Man in Sharon, Connecticut? Where were you?
It's a shame. It's a shame. Where was I? Probably Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
What year was it? Yeah.
2017. Infamous indeed.
But now we're all together.
And here we are. Jenn, it's so good to see you. Becca, it's so good to see you.
Hi.
You two have been working together. Jenn and Becca have been working together from when I met you both in 2017. You guys were already writing. How did this partnership come together, and what do you both do? And how did Casey get involved in this crazy?
Yeah, well, Jenn and I started a production company back in 2014, a small production company in New York, and we've produced a few plays here in the city. And a couple of years ago, we started talking about devising a new piece. And we went to college with Casey. We all went to Muhlenberg in Allentown, PA. And we looped her in because we thought another perspective and another brilliant talent would be useful. And we started chatting about making this play that now exists in the world. And it's called Trich.
It does. It now exists in the world. And you can go to trichplay.com to get your tickets.
That's fancy.
Power's on it.
Go to trichplay.com and you can get your tickets to see it right here in Jersey. Or you could follow on Instagram at TrichPlay. If you're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, it's TRICH Play. So it's not trick like trick or treat. And we'll get to what does that mean and what are the meaning behind it all. Jenn Haltman, who's the casting to the stars here. Jenn, where did this idea for this show come to? And I'm assuming maybe it was Becca who had the idea. Who had the idea first?
Well, weirdly, we all kind of had the idea synchronously in the same week. Becca, I had talked to Becca about what our next show was going to be, and we had been doing all of these very ambitious shows. The show that we had done right before we started working on this was there 8 people in the cast, right? It was a brand new play.
But a really large set, a lot of projections.
It was massive. And we knew if we were going to do another show, we needed it to be a little something smaller that we could wrap our arms around a little more. So I was talking to Becca about her story, and she had mentioned that just that week she had talked to Casey about the same thing. So we joined forces, and 3 are better than 2 for sure.
And Casey, but it dates back to please talk to Casey.
Please, I want to hear it. It dates back to when?
Well, I was going to say I've talked. Jenn and Casey are both very, very dear friends of mine, and I have talked to both of them over the years that the mental health struggles that I was dealing with in high school during my teen years. I've wanted to write about it since then, since I was 17. I've wanted to tell this story, but it was never really within my reach because I wasn't healthy enough, strong enough, didn't have accountability partners to help make that happen. And they both knew that that's been kind of living inside of me, and both kind of gave me the little loving push that I needed to get started.
Well, that leads us right to what the show is about. So Becca, I guess I want to know what is Trich and what is the show about?
Yeah. Oh gosh. So I have a relatively rare, it's actually a very common condition but people don't know about it. And should I talk about it? We had actually
it could be a secret.
Kind of a secret. It's kind of been part of the marketing is that it's this element of a secret because I kept it a secret. Okay. It was a real major secret for most of my life. And now I'm going on stage and talking about it very publicly. But it is a mental health condition that really plagued my whole life, but primarily my teen years, and how it affected my social life and at school and my grades, and how I dealt with it emotionally and mentally and physically, or maybe didn't deal with it. And that's primarily like the topic, and it's funny.
Well, has there ever been a more cliffhanger answer to a question than that? Now you better go get your tickets at trichplay, trichplay.com, and so that you know what is this trick of a trick. Casey,
Yes.
what's it like to work with them? What is it like?
Oh my gosh, it's a dream. It's a dream. I mean, this is the first time working with Jenn, which was incredible. I don't really consider myself a director, so to co-direct with her was amazing, and I learned a lot from her. And Becca, I'm just a huge fan of Becca Schneider. I know we're friends, but I think she's one of the most talented, funny, smart actors out there. And so to work with both of them, we just had such a good rhythm, such a good vibe. We all are very different, so I think we brought really different pieces to the table, and we have a lot of respect for each other. So I think we really created like a very kind of sacred environment for Becca to tell her full story. And yeah, it was just amazing and easy.
Jenn, what was the writing process like? I'm assuming you all don't do it all in person, and you all can be in different places and work schedules, etc. And it's a very personal story to Becca. So what was it like to collaborate with her on her story? And how do you give notes to someone that it's personal, like that they don't take it to heart? Because it's a fine line to share and bear such a part of your personal life, and then have someone say, "But I don't like it." How do you handle that?
Carefully. For sure. Well, interestingly, we started putting all of this together in the fall of 2019. So we started meeting monthly, and then the shutdown happened. So we were able to kind of ramp things up a little more than we would have had we been living our day-to-day lives. So we met weekly on Zoom, and we would give Becca assignments, and Casey and I would have little conversations about what we felt like we needed to hear a little bit more about. And a lot of like gentle nudging, and also checking in to make sure that things felt safe and comfortable, and like we were doing the right kind of digging, and that there weren't going to be any major setbacks. It was a very fruitful time.
From the beginning, Jenn and Casey were always prioritizing like my feelings, my safety, like that always came before the play. So I felt very cared for, and they're such wonderful humans and collaborators and artists that like, and we were always in sync in terms of notes. And if we weren't, we would work toward until we got to a place that we were all in agreement. And yeah, the gentle nudging is a very good way to put it.
There were a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know, there's something, I can't articulate what it is, but there's something that's not feeling like it to me yet. And I feel like I'm the least writer of the group. So I would defer to Casey a lot for her wisdom in that, and Becca's experience. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, please. That's called the life of a casting director.
We're live.
And Becca, is there a fear or any anxiety about?
Yes. Sorry, what's the rest of the question?
Getting it on its feet and performing it in front of an audience of people out here in Jersey that do not necessarily know you. They're not your friends. They're not your family. They're not like the fan club.
Yeah.
But they're coming to hear your humanity and your truth. There's something thrilling and exciting, but there has to be some anxiety about it. How are you? What are you doing to prepare yourself for this amazing rocket ship that you're about to jump on?
Ooh, I love everything you just said. When we first put this on its feet 2 years ago, we did a small reading in August of 2021 because it had just been hours kind of on Zoom, and we didn't have any outside perspectives yet. And that was probably the scariest day of my life, doing it for 20 friends. And then we did it at the United Solo Theater Festival in 2021, where it was like a really big hit. And I was able to get a lot of those all the doubt and the nerves and the concerns I have, whether it's working or not. I was assured that we'd made something that was in fact working. It's been 2 years, so all of those feelings are back. I can guarantee you all the doubt, all the concern, all the fear is right here. But I despite the anxiety, or perhaps because of it, I am very excited to share it with almost more so with people that don't know me. I mean, it's a harder challenge to get them maybe on my side right at the top, but I'm excited. We've really wanted this story to get as much exposure as possible, especially because it's about a lesser known thing, and we want to raise awareness and encourage conversation about it. And yeah.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to be there. I'm super excited. I am just jump on the turnpike up to 208 and come on down to the stage. Casey, I don't know if your expertise in this story, but maybe you can help us understand. For a writer that's out here or that is writing, how does something like this show go from the brain to the page to a theater company putting it up and investing in it and putting it in their season? How was that journey for this piece?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of steps. It's, I guess, hard to summarize. I mean, it began with Becca's idea and longing. And I think because the three of us started in such a small way, it was basically, what they had explained, like we went so deep with the script because we had worked on it for 2 years, which is kind of rare with a theater piece. Usually you're putting it up, you're figuring things out. So I think we were able to get a really tight script first and then workshopped it, had a reading. Everything was just like incremental steps of how to get this. Because it's so hard to create something when you're thinking too big scope about it. It's like, oh, let's do a one woman show. It feels so big. So we were really incremental. And also what Becca said about her well-being being at the forefront, going slow enough to check in at each level. And then we submitted to the festival, got really good feedback there. And then from there, Becca and Jenn have been really putting the word out to other companies outside of New York City. And so it's just really been kind of those incremental steps. I always think about like, what is the next like manageable thing to do when something feels big? And then it just all of a sudden you're here. And that's also why it's scary, but it's also really, it's going to be really good.
Well, Jenn, you wear a lot of hats. I know you're not, I joke about being a casting director because I was introduced to you in that way, but you're not just that. You are our artist and an artistic and artistic leadership in many ways from that you do.
Thank you.
How do you describe the journey? What was it like when a company, like a theater company, like Luna reaches out, or you reach out to them and they give the opportunity that now their subscribers, their base is going to be able to see your show up on its feet? What is the day like when that phone call comes in? What was the reaction?
It was fucking awesome. We've been working so hard to put out feelers to people that we've been starting with our little circles that we know and connections from various parts of our artistic lives and kind of rippling out from there. And the Luna connection was pretty unique because we sent an email to their like info at just a blind submission. They got back to us super fast. Like that doesn't happen. It's never going to happen again. It just happened to be the right fit for this company. And like most of the other submissions are like, we'll get back to you in 6 to 12 months. So it's a lot of patience and finding the wins where you can find them. And this is exciting to introduce it to a new set of audience members.
Well, Becca, without knowing what the show's totally about, but getting an idea it's about you and personal, I think it takes a certain type of actor to be able to tell their own story and be a storyteller alone on stage. There are some really great ones that are out there doing that right now. And I find it the most exhilarating thing is to be able to do a one-person show and tell your story. If mine is cabaret and yours is a dramatic comedic piece, it takes a certain kind of, I don't know, naiveness and stupidity and talent. What was the journey like for you to get the courage to say, I'm going to do this by myself, as myself, and tell my story? Different than wearing a character and that hat.
It's so true. I mean, one of the running jokes in the show is that I'm not a fan of solo shows. I don't particularly care for them. And not in the form, there are wonderful solo shows that exist, but a lot of them fall into very common traps. And I am so concerned about making those same mistakes that was very much a conversation we were constantly having in the room. But as for having to go up there and just be myself, or a heightened version of, no, it's just me. It's the most vulnerable state to be in, which is not a state I like being in. And we kind of made that as part of the show. A lot of the writing process was Casey and Jenn would give me writing prompts, and they would say, write a letter to your 15-year-old self, or describe something really emotional and intimate in like major detail. And then I'd be like, I'd rather make a PowerPoint presentation. Can we do that instead? So that kind of avoidance became a part of the play, and in that I want to push the vulnerability as long as I can, and then finally like landing on my own 2 feet. And I'm getting like a little shaky just thinking about it right now, of just like not being able to hide in a character, and having to just stand there and like say what I have to say. It's like a tug of war throughout the play, which is actually kind of funny once you know what it's really about. And yeah, I think, and by the end, I hope that I'm standing in this very like open-hearted, like chest wide open, and as vulnerable as I can be. Because in even just my normal life off stage, that's something I avoid whenever possible. So it's been a good learning experience, both as an actor and as a human.
Super, super exciting. I'm so proud and excited for you. And now I'm going to make you feel more uncomfortable, Becca. Casey, what has it been like to see her do this show now and be on its feet? What is it like to see her step into this and perform this piece?
Oh, you're killing me. It has been. I am so beyond proud. I think proud is a cheesy word, but I know Becca really well personally. We're really good friends. To see her kind of slowly open up, and it's like she hasn't so much changed as she's so much kind of remembering and becoming more into herself. So seeing that arc and seeing her kind of just slowly and very courageously step into this has been such an honor to witness, really, because there's a lot of trust there, and it's stuff that Becca can't always see herself. So sometimes, even with a lot of mental health, we don't see our own growth. So this has been a huge arc, being together, the three of us on the show, because me and Jenn have sort of witnessed all of this shifting in Becca and all this bravery. It is so moving. I cry every time I watch it. And it's just a delight because it is truly hilarious. Becca's one of the funniest actors out there. So there's just lots of different layers, personally and professionally. It's been truly amazing. Yeah.
And Jenn, what are you worked with, all three of you have worked together for a long time and know each other. What is it like? It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of Zoom calls. It's a lot of phones and texts and editing. And what is it like now to see her kind of blossom and to get this to be here in this stage of its time?
You're killing me, Robert. I can't.
It's amazing. I mean, I've been directing Becca since 2014. That's right. 2014. Yeah. So to be able to see her grow as an actor generally has been really remarkable. And then to see her grow into this role is, I don't know, just such a gift to be able to help shepherd this story and be a part of this achievement.
Yes.
I can't say more, or I will cry.
No, and Becca, I'll reverse it to get the attention off of you. How vital have Jenn and Casey been to you being able to do this?
We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time for me to talk about that, and then I'll get emotional. Yeah. It's clear that how much we dislike each other, I think. Speaking of like multi-hyphenates, I mean, the roles that Jenn and Casey played in getting this out of me and onto paper and onto a stage, like, they're not just directors, they're not just collaborators, they're not just the writer's room. They're like they held my hand, they shoved me, they nudged me, they loved me, and they shaped this thing that, like I said before, I didn't want this. You can't go on stage and talk about the most vulnerable thing in your life and your biggest lifelong secret and have it be bad. That's not really an option, because then you're gonna move backwards in terms of your progress if it doesn't do well. And I always trusted that I could go out on stage and do this because they told me I could, and they believed in it and they believed in me. So, and because I trust them so much, it's just, that constant, the circle, we were feeding each other on a regular basis in terms of how we knew where we were at with the progress of the piece. And now, like, the writing's done, there's like little tweaks, but we're basically remounting it right now, which is like cool that we get to say that we're remounting it and that we just get to do it again a couple of years later and see how it's shifted and how I've shifted and how the culture has shifted around this particular topic. And it's very exciting.
Casey, yes, this is also so exciting for us all. Casey, are you in when is tech? When do you start? Are you in the space? What is the deal?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think tech probably doesn't start till 1 or 2 weeks beforehand, I think. But we're going to start rehearsing this Saturday. And Jenn and Becca are going to be more of the full-time rehearsal mode. They're rehearsing a lot during weekdays during the day. They're going to be at the stage a lot. So I'm going to be at rehearsals when I can. But that starts Saturday and then goes right up until December 1st, which is the opening. Yeah. So there's previews. So the tech week will be before then. Jen's going to run the helm on that. But we're going to start to meet starting this Saturday at Becca's apartment and start rocking.
This is where the magic happens.
Popping on those Christmas lights.
Jenn, tell us, when is the run, if you don't mind? The run is from
December 1st to 10th. I'm looking in Becca's face to make sure that I'm getting it right. We have weekday performances from.
We have Fridays at 8.
Fridays at 8. We
Saturdays at 3 and 8. Sundays at 3, and one performance on December 7th, which is a Thursday at 1:00.
The whole schedule can be found at trichplay.com.
Nice.
Trichplay.com. Becca, for your brain and your life and what's going on, do you allow yourself to think post December 10th, or are you just focused on the now?
The only moments where I'm thinking about post December 10th is the future runs that we have to announce of when Trich is coming back to the stage and other locations, hopefully plural, but definitely one. But no, I'm in very day by day mode right now, because if it's December 11th, that means the whole thing's over, and I'm not ready for December 1st to happen yet. So I'm excited.
But it's not over. And if you go to trichplay.com, you can sign up for our newsletter and find out when we will be doing the show again.
Yeah, if you can't come to Luna, if you can't come to West Orange, December 1st to the 10th, subscribe to our newsletter and you can come to one of the future runs, or when it eventually comes back to New York City.
Or if there's a theater near you that you think it should go to, please let us know.
Is it clear we've been in pitch mode for a while?
That's my whole life, is all we do is, as an artist, forget about doing the art. The pitching is 98% of the job.
That's right.
Sometimes it's torturous, but it's part of it. What Luna Stage, West Orange, it's beautiful out there. Come on down to the West Orange, just go to Newark and make a left and keep going. And then you'll be there. And then you can come to Luna Stage, and then it will be wherever it will be. I can't wait. I want it in print form. I want to go to Drama Bookstore, and I want you to be able to buy a published copy, because I need good monologues for my musical theater and acting students. So we need that out there.
That blows my mind.
Out there, and we need to see this to continue to live on and to do this work, and one day Becca may gift it to the world, and then there'll be little Becca Schneiders everywhere doing this play all around.
That's
my dream.
That's the goal.
Yeah. I want to. This show is not about me; it's all about you. But I want to give a shout out to Jenn, because I have to say that we joked about the Music Man, and I had sent this back to her in an email. I had gotten out of a really rough divorce. I was 32 years old. I had never acted in 16 years. I was starting to go to acting school at William Esper in New York City, and I saw a local audition for Music Man, and I thought to myself, if I go to the local audition in Connecticut, they won't see the New York people, and maybe I'll be remembered. And it was Palm Sunday, and I drove up to Sharon, Connecticut, and I went into the church on a Palm Sunday, and a little Roman Catholic gay boy like me walked in, and I said, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. And it was the first show I did in 16 years. I was not good in the show. The show did not need me.
Not true.
That's not true.
It was a very hard experience because I had to shed all of my insecurity, and I'm not a harmony singer. I wasn't used to all of these musical theater titans and people that do it for a living. I was a little school teacher, and I felt very in over my head. But the love and support that Jenn saw in me, and she gave me the opportunity. If I didn't have that opportunity, I don't think I'd be here. I don't think I would be continuing to work. And I thank you for trusting me and seeing something in me that I did not see at all. And you were so important, and I don't even think I ever got the chance to really tell you. So I want to say,
oh my gosh,
thank you for giving me that opportunity, because it was the start of a whole new life for me, truly.
oh, it's amazing. That's the beautiful thing about casting is that you want everybody to be wonderful, and you came in and you were, and we saw something special in you, and we knew you had to be a part of the play.
And so now I'm forever indebted, and I will be there. If you need me to be there for every show, I'll
We do.
I'll tear
We need that. We need that.
Yes, I'll do security at the stage door. Leave Becca alone. Get away. No.
Yes. Oh, I'd love a bodyguard.
Hired.
Done. That's it. Trichplay.com. Jersey.
Tickets are very affordable.
It's affordable. It is absolutely.
It's short.
Sure.
It's super short.
Funny.
It's short, it's funny, and it's affordable. And there's nothing that you can, and if you're in West Orange, what else is there to do in West Orange on a Saturday night? Then they closed the Manor, which you guys don't even know about, but the Manor used to be the all-you-can-eat lobster buffet in West Orange, and it closed last year.
Well, they need a place to go.
They have to come to the play.
We'll serve lobster bisque. We'll do what it takes.
We'll just add a budget line. It's totally fine.
So I'll be in the concessions, just handing out.
Just with a ladle.
Come on in. Yeah, we can do that.
Trichplay.com. Jenn, Becca, Casey, congratulations. I'm so proud and excited. I can't wait to see it.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you so
us.
much. What a delight.
Well, there you have it. How do you not love friends and people you worked with and did shows with and lived in a housing development over a summer to do the Music Man with, seeing them excel and fly? They said after the interview, they wanted to stress, it is fun, it is a funny show, it has a lot of musical theater and pop culture references, especially if you grew up in the 80s. It even has a reference apparently to the Music Man that we talked about and we did together. So make sure you check it out. Luna Stages is a great place to see shows. There's so many shows and great theaters to see in New Jersey. You don't have to cross the $20 toll and the $80 parking to see a Broadway show. You can see something right in your own backyard, no matter where you are. If you're listening to us in Germany or England or China or in the West Coast or Central America or the Midwest or wherever, there's great art and artists to be admired and to be supported. You can support this show by going to robertbannon.com. Check me out live in New York City December 9th for a Christmas extravaganza. It's going to be at Chelsea Table and Stage, or stream my album called Rewind, or just share this with a friend or tell a friend about the Roundtable, and make sure you check us out every single day on the Broadway Podcast Network. I'm so grateful to be here with you. I look forward to the next adventure. Who knows who's going to show up? The best is yet to come. Join me next time on the Roundtable, where artists talk about art. Good night, everybody. Take care.